eventually this is where this thing ends up?
Well, I think we've learned, anyone who's been alive for the last 5 years has learned that it's called a progressive movement, and as I always say, it's got progress in movement right in the title. So there is no signs of slowing down or pumping the brakes. And
Right.
as we've seen, it just goes from one thing to the next.
Yep.
Stuff that they're pitching today would have sounded bizarre and like science fiction and Orwellian 3 years ago.
Yep.
And they're pitching the same stuff with a straight face now. Like, I live in Los Angeles, California. California is trying to do some curriculum with the schools where they're going to eliminate AP math up until the 11th grade to sort of level the playing field. I mean, stuff, they're calling math racist.
Right.
So stuff like that, which would have sounded patently insane a few years ago, is now become a conversation. So I agree with Joe. I don't think there's any signs of them slowing down. They've certainly not provided any evidence that they were ever content. If you ever listen to someone like AOC speak, who I believe is sort of the mouthpiece for this movement, she's never satisfied. She never pumps the brakes. She never stops. She's never satiated. So why wouldn't it keep going this direction?
And that's a good point, because they're always upset about something. And my thing is, it's not my fault you have problems, right? You can't blame all of your problems on me. Maybe those are just your problems. So comedian Chris Rock came along, and he was on one of the morning shows, and he said people aren't even taking any risks in comedy anymore because they're so scared of getting canceled, and nothing's funny. Listen.
What happens is everybody gets safe.
Right.
And when everybody gets safe and nobody tries anything, things get boring, right? So I see a lot of unfunny comedians. I see unfunny TV shows. I see unfunny award shows. I see unfunny movies. Because everybody's scared to, make a move.
You're familiar with this business. Have you noticed that things are kind of less funny these days? Have you picked up on that?
Yeah, obviously what you're going to have is people you've never heard of attempting to go out and sort of push the envelope, but people that are in the mainstream that want to keep their jobs, who you've sort of heard of, are looking at hanging on to what they have. So you're not going to hear it from any of the traditional names out there, whoever your Jerry Seinfelds are out there, or whoever your sort of, household name comedians. You're not going to hear a bunch of super edgy stuff coming out from them. They're not going to be pushing it. You're going to hear it from people you've never heard of, which is, a little bit of a catch-22, because we kind of lived in a world where George Carlin or Richard Pryor, these were the guys that were the mainstream guys, and they were also pushing the envelope. They were also sort of pushing back against the man in society, not unknown people doing, coffee houses during open mics at
Right.
4 in the morning on a Tuesday.
Right. And you use the word edgy, and that's what comedy is about. You find that edge, and you play with it. And if people move back from that edge, or the edge itself keeps moving back, it's not funny. And if we're not laughing, we're not having a good time here in America. Everyone's laughing at Adam Corolla, though, because the show's taken off and the book's doing well, and you're just uncancelable. So you should be proud of that. And thanks for coming on the show, Adam.
Thanks, Jesse.
And he's talking about all of this stuff on PragerU.com. Go there right now. Boy,